Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with part two of Today in Sports Betting, doing it NBA style. Taking a look at this. We usually do it, the couple games that are going to be on. We like to look at the TV games, Scott, because usually they're the best games of the day. Usually have the best matchups, most competitive games. So we're going to take a look that are going to be on TNT, done dirt cheap. So Philly, Brooklyn. Scott, have you been to see this Brooklyn team play yet? I'm kidding. It's 2021. You're not going anywhere.
I saw them beat Utah by 34 because I watched pretty much all Brooklyn games. So that was a nice spot there. Still have a worse record than the Knicks. So I have a lot of friends in the area who are still giving me some crap for it. But, Knicks are 2 games over for the first time in about, 30 years. So, props to them. But they made me some money yesterday. So overall, can't complain. Of course, Durant being out's a big deal. I know yesterday we did really well on the card. I know we got the Celtics right. We got the Clippers right. I gave out the Knicks as well. That worked out. So, yeah, can't complain too much. But
not a bad day.
You want to start with this game?
Yeah, it's going to be the Sixers and the Nets. Man, this is an absolutely psychotic Brooklyn Nets team. I cannot get a read on them. And like you said, now KD's out, so that puts a whole new wrinkle in them.
KD was out last game. I said watch out for the spread because Utah was getting a ton of money. They valued Durant worth about 8 points. Turns out he was worth about negative 42 because the Nets won by 34. So
yeah, 5-point dogs. They win by 34.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do with that team. They're 6-point dogs to Atlanta. They lose by 18. I mean, they're 6-point favorites over Atlanta. Sorry about that. Yeah, 6-point favorites. They lose. 11.5-point favorites to Charlotte. They lose. Are you surprised about this Philly team?
Actually, no. It's not even because of Doc Rivers being the coach. I do think that helps because you know how long I hated Brown as a coach for the 76ers. I sound like a broken record every time I talked about how bad of a coach he was. So I'm not surprised that getting a veteran in Doc Rivers behind the bench is going to help. But I think the main reason why is because of the fact that they got Daryl Morey, who's in charge of making exact decisions with the roster, and he looked at the team and said, "You know what we need? 3-point shooting." And they just went out and they got a bunch of 3-point shooters, which was the main issue this team had last year. So am I surprised that this team went out, got more shooters, and players like Seth Curry and company are making immediate contributions? No. I think I'm surprised they're 7-1, but I'm not surprised that Philly has looked a lot better than they did last year because they have a better coach, they have a better bench, they have a better 3-point shooting. So the main areas of concern you had for last year got somewhat resolved. I'm not fully surprised, are you?
No, and they haven't played a real tough schedule yet.
Yeah.
They've played exclusively in the East. A couple games against Charlotte, a couple games against Washington. They've got the Knicks in there. They've got Cleveland.
What's their best win though? Orlando?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably going to be at Orlando. Although, if you 20 points at the Knicks, if you really think the Knicks are something decent, then yeah.
Can't say the Raptors because they're 1-6.
Can't say the Raptors, man. They have fallen off the cliff. So yeah, probably that game at Orlando where it was 24-point win versus the Magic. That's probably going to be their best win. Of course, Brooklyn, they've got a little bit of the same. They've played a lot of the same teams, with the exception of Golden State, where they absolutely ran them out of the building there.
Play Atlanta as well. I'm not sure what to think of Atlanta, but Atlanta has been decent.
That's another psycho team. And the thing about Atlanta, they're a psycho team every year.
Yep.
The one thing consistent about Atlanta is they usually play terrible defense.
Truth is that they still play terrible defense. Atlanta, I don't think Lloyd Pierce is the guy as a coach. I don't think he's the guy there. But I think that's a conversation for another day.
Well, yeah, and to me, it's I don't think Trae Young is the kind of guy that carries your franchise.
I can agree with that as well. He had a very good year, but it's mostly just the way I've watched the Hawks play. I don't like how Lloyd Pierce just throws around the bench unit and stuff. I just don't like his rotations. I just don't think he's that good of an in-game coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so this is a Brooklyn team that's 4-4 on the season. They've covered 4 of those victories. They've covered the line 3 times. Philly, like you said, Scott, just one loss on the season, 7-1 on the year, 5-3 to the cover. What is the number on this one? This is going to be the Sixers by 1.5 on the road.
Yep.
226 is the number here. So, you know what? I think at the end of the day, man, of course, without KD, I was going to say, I think the Nets are probably a little better team without KD, though. I'm not sure that I believe that. I'll take the Phillies on the road. I'll hold my nose and take the Phillies minus 1.5.
Well, the main reason why the 76ers are only laying one.
The Sixers.
I thought you did that intentionally.
No.
But looking at the matchup here, the main reason why the spread is so short is because of the fact that Philly played yesterday.
Right.
And it wasn't a matter of them playing yesterday. It was a matter of them playing in a track meet yesterday. They played against the Wizards. Beal had, 57 through three quarters.
Yeah.
Only finished with 60, which is pretty upsetting. But Philly ended up having a game that totaled in the 270s yesterday. So you might have to wonder if fatigue's going to play a factor in that matchup. Do I think it will? Probably not. It's still early in the season. I think that the Phillies should still have legs. I'm going to lean to the over in this one. It's at around 226.5. It's been bet up to around 227 in some spots. Philly's averaging 114.8 points per game. They've scored at least 116 each of their last four games. Brooklyn, on the other hand, is averaging 119.5. First game without KD, they went for 130. But looking at their defense, not very good. If you look at Brooklyn's defense here, they've given up at least 114 in three of their last five games. Gave up 123 to the Wizards. Gave up 141 to Atlanta. It wouldn't surprise me to see Philly go for 120 plus here. So for that reason, I'll lean to the over because I just think both teams defensively. Philly can be good defensively at times, but for the most part, Brooklyn likes to play an up-tempo style. I think you'll see both teams get into the 115s to 120. So for that reason, I'll lean to the over.
Yeah, and I think they're a lot more likely to play up-tempo without Durant too. So 116 or 114 by the way, 4 of their last 5, Scott. So yeah, the defense has been not good with the exception of Utah last night where they clamped, or night before last where they clamped down on the Jazz. I don't hate that. Yeah, if I had to play the total, I'd definitely play the over here. No way to play an under with these teams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right. I'll take Philly, and you got the over. There you go. All right, moving on to the second game of the doubleheader. There, this is a battle of kind of I don't know, Scott, 2 of the best 5 players in the NBA.
Yeah, I think you can say that.
Okay, I just did so.
You did just say that, so fair point.
It's Doncic headed up to the mountains to take on Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets currently 3-point favorite still. Nope, down to 2.5. This has been bet down a little bit. Little Dallas money coming in. Nuggets are 2.5-point favorites over the Mavs. 224 is the total. Now I do have my play of the day on this game, Scott. I got some grief for taking a Scott Reichel type bet yesterday. So I had Houston Baptist involved. So I'm back taking a game that's an NBA game on TV. Man, you don't get any more mainstream than that. What do you got here?
So for this one, I don't sound like a fully broken record breaking down what I just did with the Nets and the Sixers game. I like the over. I know that Dallas has been – we've talked about inconsistent teams so far this season, talking about the Hawks, the Nets. Dallas falls into that category as well. This team's been very unpredictable so far this season, so you got to, keep that in mind. But Dallas so far this season has been pretty good defensively, giving up 105.1. They're only averaging 107.7. Denver has been really good to the over. They're averaging 117 points per game, giving up 116. You look at Denver's last couple of games there. Played Houston, total of 235. Played the Kings, total of 240. Played the Suns. Suns have been dead unders this season. That total 209. I'm going to credit that more to Phoenix's defense. Played Minnesota, 233. Played Minnesota again, 239. Denver, without Jeremy Grant, has been useless defensively. This team can't stop anybody. Would it surprise you if Doncic goes for 40 tonight? Probably not, because I don't think Denver's anyone who can guard him. Would surprise you if Jokic goes for a 30-point triple-double? No, because I don't think Dallas is anybody who can guard him. So for that reason, if both superstars in this game are almost unguardable, and I don't think either team has much of an answer, I'll take the over, because I do think this game should turn into a track meet. So for that reason, 224.5, I think both these teams can get to 212. I'll take the over.
Do you think both can get to 212? It's an attractive number. I don't necessarily buy into your lack of defense.
It's mostly Denver. I just think Denver's defense is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Dallas squad that can put some defensive efforts together. They've given up 100 or less in 3 of their last 5. So, they're not just a dreadful dead over team.
No, I think Denver is a dreadful dead over team.
Yeah, they've definitely had some defensive lapses, and we saw that last season, and we saw it in the playoffs. That's been their bugaboo for since this iteration of the Denver team has been around. They've been good offensively and unable to stop anybody. So yeah, I don't hate that. I think that's an attractive number. So yeah, I'll play it. I think that number is too low. So
I'm assuming you agree that both teams here. I think 112 on a team total for both teams sounds a bit low.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. Yeah, my pick is on the side, so I'll go with you on the over. It's one of those situations where I don't love the over. I'm not as convinced as you are, but there's no way I'd play the under.
It's mostly just looking at Denver and just going, until you show me you can play some form of defense, I'll keep taking the over.
Yeah, of course, the problem the problem with taking overs in Denver is you never know if the altitude is going to wear out teams by the fourth quarter.
Definitely true. I'm just throwing it out there that if you look at the recent games there, Minnesota, those high-scoring games, you might say to yourself, well, Minnesota has some talent. You also have to remember that Karl-Anthony Towns hasn't played in about 2 weeks.
Right.
So you're talking about the Minnesota bench mob squad, and you're giving up at least 109 in both games in those matchups.
Yeah.
Not exactly ideal.
No, I agree. So yeah, I'll lean over there with you as well. And any thoughts on the side?
Truth is no. I really just can't trust this Denver team.
Okay.
I probably lean to Denver just because of the fact that they're at home with the altitude and all that stuff. But I really just don't like this Nuggets team, at all. Okay. I'm just going to lean to the over. But I also can't trust Dallas on a game-in, game-out basis. I'm assuming you agree with that? I know you talk about the side. I just mean the idea that Dallas is pretty tough to be trusted and Denver's left a lot to be desired up to this point.
This is a different Dallas team with and without Porzingis. So
yeah,
I think they could make some noise later in the season, but they've just been
right now they have a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's the thing, and they've been inconsistent. They could certainly win this one by 15, but they could lose it by 25 too. So
yep. So anyway, I like the overs in both primetime games.
Okay, very good. All right, guys, there you have it. That's our NBA show for today. As always, if you're looking for more information on these games or any other games, make sure you stop by. Check out the #1 site on the internet for predictive sports analysis. That is, of course, winnersandwhiners.com. It's the straw that stirs the drink, the ones that pays our salaries, and pretty darn good site, Scott. Big fan. I know you write some articles over there. We've got some equally good handicappers that are writing articles as well. So always, if you're on the fence or you need more information, winnersandwhiners.com is the place to go. And we want to know what you guys are playing. Of course, drop us a line in the comment section. Let us know what you're on. If you're tailing us, fading us, what you got cooked up for yourselves. As always, we appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up for the video if you dig what we're doing. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Join 11,000 of the coolest people out there as we break down each and every day the main games there. So, and stay tuned. Scott and I are going to have our NFL preview shows up tomorrow. So that'll be something to look forward to. You excited about the Super Wildcard weekend, Scott?
Can't really say no to it. It's going to feel weird seeing the Bears in there with an 8-8 record, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully the games are competitive, and hopefully make some money.
10 hours of NFL football 2 days in a row. Sign me up. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks very much for watching.
What the hell was that?
That's my Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Okay.
You ever watch that show?
No.
That's a perfect impression. Perfect.
I'm sure it was. Let us know in the comment section below how good of an impression that was.
Yeah, that's an 8.5 right there.
I thought you had something stuck in your throat there. Wasn't really sure what was going on.
All right. So if you guys enjoy impressions, don't forget to give us a thumbs up for our video. Thanks for watching. Good luck on all your plays. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into what? Cash money. Back at the window. I'll let you do it next time, Scott. You didn't come to rehearsal.
I didn't realize it was a rtorical question, so I'll stay out of the way next time.
Fair enough. All right. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. And we will see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.